My name's Colton. I am 21 years old.
Perfect. And then, what is Sanctuary Youth Center?
Sanctuary Youth Center is a nonprofit charitable organization that brings in kids from the ooh yeah, brings in kids from the streets, so they have like a place to hang out, so they're not in the streets doing drugs, doing anything they're not supposed to do, and just be in like a safe environment where you just feel safe and nothing bad can happen to you.
And where is Sanctuary Youth Center located?
Sanctuary Youth Center is located uh, Britta Avenue. Uh, I can't remember the church's name, like this church, but it's underneath the church near on Britta Avenue. It's a little complicated to find it. You have to go down like a driveway, then there's stairs. That leads you to a basement.
And why does it exist?
Sanctuary Youth Center just for helping kids get back on their feet, help them find jobs, help them find homes, help them find doctors just in case they need medical or dentist, or also ask the staff for help with something that they don't want to discuss with another youth, and kind of help them in their life that they can make better choices than they are now.
And why do you come to Sanctuary?
I come to Sanctuary because I I like the atmosphere here. It's a good people, great staff, great volunteers, and I mean a lot of friends here over the years. I probably wouldn't be outside my house if I didn't come here and meet my friends out today.
And the last question is, what is the impact that Sanctuary Youth Center has on the youth and in the downtown community?
I think it's impactful to the youth because they can get a nice, warm cooked meal and and safe environment, stuff like that, and also the street community. Um, I think the street community knows about it because they know they can also get food here and juice or water or something.
Name can be first and last. You don't have to tell me if you don't
Yeah.
want to. But what's your name?
Yeah, I'm Celestine Gahaya, but I go by Celo Gahaya. Yeah.
Perfect. And what is Sanctuary Youth Center?
Well, Sanctuary Youth Center it's a place for young people to come and just hang out, chill, have food, have community, get to know one another. It's a place they find. I don't know. You know when you're homeless sometimes and you just need a place to go chill. Yeah, so it's one of those places, but it's actually more than that. It's not just that. You know, there's also the spirituality that comes with it. There's the food. They get showers. They get some one-on-one conversations with the staff, and some of them we actually help them get jobs. And yeah, so it's a multi-purpose kind of place. Yeah.
You kind of answered the next question, but I'm still going to ask it to see if there's anything else.
No.
No problem.
No problem. Yeah.
But why does Sanctuary Youth Center exist?
Well, Sanctuary Youth Center exists because there's a huge problem for young people out there, especially from the ages from 14 to 22. That's who we see every time. And the reason being is, of course, we know that some of them have no places to be. They sleep at the shelters and stuff. So during the day, it's a place where they can come and just hang out, get some food, have somebody to talk to, and just build relationships. And also sometimes it's not just inside. We do go outside. We have activities we go for. Yeah, so it's that kind of place, just a community.
And what is the impact that Sanctuary Youth Center has on the youth and in the downtown Victoria community?
I mean, with time, we've seen young people getting jobs. We've seen some of them getting, other connections, like, helping them get IDs, housing. So there's a lot of impact that goes beyond just, hanging out. So there's connections they get from here that also help them, figure out life in other areas, not just,
And why do you think the youth come to the Sanctuary Youth Center?
One of the reasons I think they come to Sanctuary, I think, is it's a place for hangout, Yeah, when you have friends, you have people who think the same, who share the same goals. I mean, you got different struggles going on, but these are your friends, these are buddies. You play pool together, you eat together, we have community meals. So it's more like a family. Yeah, I think, so it's basically a family, and
And the final question here, why do staff and volunteers believe in the center?
Why do staff and volunteers believe in the center? I mean, one of the reasons I would think of is giving back. When your life is good, when your life is a bit better compared to how you see other people, you tend to have something in you that wants to give back. So, and that's why I think volunteers come to help out. And also seeing a need out there and trying to meet the need. So I think one of the main reasons is trying to meet the need, because we have a lot of, the problem is huge, but there's a few hands to kind of handle it. So them offering their time and skill, it actually helps meeting the huge need that we face. And I really thank all the volunteers and staff, because I mean, the problem is actually bigger than the hands that we have. And so we just do what we gotta do. Yeah.
So what is your name?
My name is Tracy Lemke.
And what is Sanctuary Youth Center?
Sanctuary Youth Center is an amazing place. It is a place where people can come and feel like they belong, they can feel welcomed, that they fit in somewhere, that they can relax and be who they really are. Maybe when they're experiencing challenges or struggles in their life, we want it to be a safe haven and a place of community.
And with that in mind, why does it exist?
Sanctuary exists because of people that love Jesus and want to be the hands and feet of Jesus. Sorry, can I start that again? Sanctuary exists because there are people that wanted to show the youth in our community that are struggling that Jesus is real. They wanted to be his hands and feet and actually provide for their needs. We provide food and showers and laundry, art supplies, pool, things that everybody needs, but also fun things that youth want to be a part of as well. And so Sanctuary exists to meet those needs and to show people that they are loved and that they're valuable in the eyes of God and in the eyes of those that give their time and service at Sanctuary.
So why is Sanctuary Youth Center important?
Sanctuary Youth Center is important because everybody has a yearning and a desire to belong in the world. And I think we can all look back to our teenage years. Some have really good years, some have more challenging, and we can remember what it's like to not fit in and to not be welcome, to maybe not even be welcome amongst our own family or people that we thought were our friends. And so having a place where they can come and know that they're accepted and they're cared for, I think means so much.
And why do you think the youth continue to come to Sanctuary?
I think youth come to Sanctuary because it's, those of you that are old might remember Cheers, where everybody knows your name. We get to know the youth. We know their names. We get to know their likes and their dislikes. And we're actually honestly excited to see them when they walk through the door. And we're saying, we're so glad to see you, glad that you were here today. And I think we all want to feel like our presence is making a difference. And that people want to see us. And so I think that youth come back, not just for what is provided for them, but maybe how they feel at the center and that they matter.
And what is the impact that Sanctuary has on the youth and in the downtown Victoria community?
I think the impact that Sanctuary has is, or can be, big and obvious, and it can also be really subtle, and we might never know. I think that there's obvious things that we see that change in the lives of our youth, something that gets ignited in them, a desire, a passion to move forward in life, to make healthier decisions for themselves, to know that they are capable and can make their dreams happen. But I think it also can be really subtle, and just going out into a public space, accessing community services, feeling like, hey, there's stuff out there for me. It might not be conscious, it might be more subtle in their life, but to know that, hey, there's people out there that are for me, that are excited for me, that are my cheerleaders, and that things can change and things can improve. And so I think that's a big impact that's made both in big and small ways in the lives of our youth.
And the final question, why do you think staff and volunteers believe in the center?
That was a hard one. Yeah. I think staff and volunteers really believe in this place. Most of them because they've heard about it through word of mouth, and they've heard about what goes on here, and that it's a really fun place to be. It is not, of course, we're dealing with challenging issues often, or struggles that youth are having, but it is a vibrant place. It's active, it's alive. Kids are having fun, they're laughing, they're joking. And so I think volunteers get just as much out of being here as the youth do. And that, of course, includes staff as well. Like, we're working on days and I'm like, I'm actually getting paid for this, to hang out with teenagers and play Uno and Jenga and do fun things. And I think that we really see it being a place that represents what God is wanting to do in the world. He's wanting people to show love to other people, and that people will know us by our love. And I think that really happens at Sanctuary. And so volunteers and staff want to be part of that.
Now, first question, if you're comfortable, what's your name?
Darren. My name is Darren. Yeah.
And next question, what is Sanctuary Youth Center?
Sanctuary Youth Center is a drop-in, they call it a club, you know. It's for youth for ages 12 to, I believe, 19, and they have exceptions for 20 and 21. You know, it's a place safely, you know, provided for youth who are in need on the street, maybe just not even on the street, but just need a safe place to go to just feel like they're in a place where they can be themselves, where they don't have to look over their shoulders. It's a place where you can come grab something warm to eat, maybe some coffee, a tea. You know, they got recreational stuff too. Like I hence the wraps I got boxing going for me these days. I love the heavy bag work. I love the pad work. They got pool tables and a dartboard. It's just a place to be a youth.
You kind of answered it, and it's totally fine with that. But I do want to ask this question just again. Why does Sanctuary Youth Center exist?
Exists. Yeah, I mean, like, it exists because there's a plan for it. You know, it's a higher place that decided this was necessary. I believe it was opened in I want to say 87, it might have been 92, and it's just yeah, for youth who need help. Right, and just, like I said, safe place and whatnot. It's really heartfelt. And not only do that, but the staff actually are a non-profit here. Like, they go out of their way to make you truly feel like you're appreciated and that you are indeed loved. Because I do believe everyone is loved in a different way. If you ever found out you were loved, love wouldn't feel so good.
Why do you think this center is important?
Important? Well, I mean, in my personal experience, I grew up in foster care, man, and that was never easy. There are households where, you know, I was spoiled, and there's households where I was beaten down into the dirt and deprived of food and of, you know, any love that I should have gotten as a really young one. And I'm sure not all of the youth that come here can, you know, relate to that, but the point being is it's that place to nurture yourself, not even just in means of food and water, but just nurture yourself. They have many options like to help you out. Like say you want to go to rehab or detox. That's how I got into detox the first place, was through Sanctuary. They got me into the SYC out by Royal Jubilee. And I got there, I stayed there for about 8 days. Not only that, but you know, they have options for counseling and therapy as well. And the pastor Darren here also, you know, not to call him out, but he's also been out of his way to help youth move into their new apartments and whatnot. And just anything you generally would need, it's an opportunity here to be had. Yeah.
Beautiful answer. And why do you come to Sanctuary?
Why do I come to Sanctuary? Well, being in a group home, it's definitely not, it's not home, right? Home is, they say home is where the heart is, and I believe that's true. But home is also where you reside in. You know, I had a wise man once told me, you want paradise? Look around you. Paradise doesn't look anything like you think it is. It's what you are and where you are, who you are. I just think that it's something that was a long time coming and needed to be.
The final question here. What is the impact that Sanctuary has on the youth and the downtown Victoria community?
So on the youth, I would like to speak on a personal experience, you know, and like just to warn, this is quite some gore, like just some really dark information here. Is I used to be a meth and a fentanyl addict, really hard down and bad on it. I've been going here before and since I started that, and you know, as every addict who is out there and had gotten better, God bless, I do believe that they can relate that we think we don't put off as we're using, but we definitely do. It's the way we act different, and it's the nature of us to notice these things. And that being said, I had come here one afternoon, I believe it was a Wednesday. You know, I was out back smoking. I came back in, and one of the gentlemen here, his name was Isaac, had asked me if I had a minute to talk with him. And you know what, I said, yeah, sir, I do. What would you like to talk about? He's like, well, I think I would like to be a one-on-one if you want to come out back with me. I just want to ask you a couple questions. And there we were out back here, and we're sitting at the bench that was built that year. And he said, you don't have to answer, you know, but I'm just curious because I care and it's what it is, right? Are you using right now? And I said, yes, sir. He said, do you mind if I ask what? I'm like, yes, I don't mind at all. And I told him what I was using. And it took me by the legs and swept me off my feet. And, you know, I never thought that this would happen, but, you know, he asked if he can pray for me. And this was wild to me. As an Indigenous person, I've never had anybody ask me that. And so when I said yes, I still remember the prayer by heart. And he said, Lord God, this day is a day of darkness for our young man, Darren here. He has been through so many sorrows and griefs. Lord God, I ask that you take away his pain and his problems in his life. Lord God, I ask that you give him strength and compassion and courage to do better and get off this drug and substances. And Lord God, I ask that you never, ever let him back into this life again. Lord God, take him from this path and put him on the right one. And in God's name we said amen. And at that point, it had impacted my entire life, because that was the point where I decided I needed to do better, because somebody noticed, and that's all I ever really needed. And then the means of impact on the community, well, like diversity is out there, indeed. They also are welcoming of anyone. You know, I've never seen them turn down a person unless there was an imminent danger to the society within the building. They held a bunch of different, you know, nonprofit, just charity work out there, and it's a beautiful thing. They often do just everything they can just to make this world a better place, and that they do.
The first question I just want to ask you is, if you're comfortable, what's your name?
Bill Macmillan.
And what is Sanctuary Youth Center?
What is Sanctuary? Sanctuary is a drop-in center for youth at risk. And it's a non-judgmental place where people can come in and feel safe.
And why does it exist?
Why does it exist? Well, it was a vision of Rob Trepanier, the original CEO, and he had been involved with youth in juvenile prisons and stuff like that, and he saw that there was a need for the youth in downtown Victoria, and he wanted to create an environment for them.
And why is Sanctuary important?
Well, it's important because the opportunity is there for people to come and find a safe place to hang out. The opportunity for a faith-based organization to tell people about faith as well. And it's just a safe place and an opportunity for the staff to help people when they need help and assistance, whether it's in moving or anything like that. So.
The next question, why do youth come to Sanctuary?
I think they come here because it is a safe place for them. There's opportunity for them to get food as well, and to get help and assistance. Some of the staff have helped them write resumes and help them move, give them equipment, food, all this sort of stuff. So, yeah.
And what is the impact that Sanctuary has on the youth and in the downtown Victoria community?
Well, it's a bit of a mentorship, I think, and the purpose is to try and instill in them responsibility. Many of the youth, have made bad choices in their lives and causes them problems. So the opportunity is there and try and steer them in the right direction through help and assistance. And of course, that will help the city of Victoria by not having so much problem on the streets.
And the final question, why do staff and volunteers believe in the Ascension?
Well, it's a God-given thing, We're asked to go into the world and make disciples of people. And Jesus wants us to be his hands and feet and to serve people. And so that's what we attempt to do.
What is your name?
I'm Andy.
And the next question is, what is Sanctuary Youth Center?
This is a organization helping a lot of street kids. Yeah.
And why does it exist?
I think this is, it's been, in Victoria for a long time. But what I learned from is, the founder has a desire to help street kids. So he gathered some support from various churches and formed this sanctuary.
And why is Sanctuary Youth Center important?
In Victoria, you can see what happened. A lot of homelessness, drug problem, all that. So I think if we can help the street kid, help them when they're young, you can still change them. It's rather than when they're getting older, it's more difficult or more challenging.
And why do the youth come to Sanctuary?
I asked that question as well, but what I found is like they like the environments, no judgment. And also the thing is they felt kind of like a family-like environment. Like they look at a lot of their volunteers as their friends, as their uncle,
And what is the impact that Sanctuary has on the youth and in the downtown Victoria community?
I've seen a lot of youth. They came here for a long time, and I can see their life have been changed. So rather than just like have no aim for their life, they now I've seen some kids now they have a job, they have a place to stay, they have a vision. They want what they want to do in the future. I think this is really good rather than like
And the last question here, why do staff and volunteers believe in Sanctuary?
In Sanctuary, kind of unique. In most of the staff and volunteer, they are Christian. So we just want to, as for myself, I just want to pass on the love from Jesus to the youth.
What is your name?
Darren Reimer.
And what is Sanctuary Youth Center?
Sanctuary Youth Center is that's not as easy a question to answer as you might think. It is a drop-in program run by Cornerstone Youth Society to assist vulnerable youth in our city.
And why does Sanctuary exist?
Sanctuary Youth Center exists to support vulnerable youth in our city, to come alongside of them and offer that support, whether that be physical, emotional, spiritual support. We are a faith-based organization, and we believe that the love of Christ compels us to come alongside of the most vulnerable in our community and support them any way we can. I should add, with no strings attached.
And why is Sanctuary Youth Center important?
Well, Sanctuary Youth Center, I feel, is important. I mean, there are other agencies doing great things, and I'm not saying we're the only game in town, but we feel like we have something unique to provide in the sense that we are a faith-based organization. We love God, we love people, and we want kids to come here knowing that they are welcome, accepted, and loved, that we're remembering their names, as remembering them as individuals that they are, created in God's image with huge potential. We would like to come alongside youth, support them so that they can traverse some of the challenges in their lives and overcome some challenges, and hopefully begin to see a change in their trajectory.
And why do youth come to Sanctuary?
I come to Sanctuary, I mean, people could say I come to Sanctuary because it's my job, and in one sense that's true, but I come to Sanctuary because I believe and I'm very aware that the language I'm using right now is language that you might typically hear in a Christian setting, but it can also hopefully be well received in a broader community. But I believe I'm called to this place. I myself have experienced crisis. I was on the verge of homelessness once. I had a Christian family welcome me in when I needed help. My family upbringing was not always safe, and I feel like because of the grace of God, the goodness of God that has helped me through some very difficult things in my own life, I feel like there is something we can offer kids today through the work that we're doing here. Yeah.
And with the youth in mind, why do you think the youth come to Sanctuary?
I think youth come for a variety of reasons. There are some youth who come here just basically to get food and free Wi-Fi. That's it. And there's some who really crave and desire more, and they're beginning to see and realize that there is more. There's some depth to the things that go on here. And there's relationship, there's trust that's being built, community that's being built. And I think it's that last word, community, that I really think is a missing piece in our society. And the youth that we work with feel it a lot of times the very most, being isolated because of a behavior problem or because of an addiction. I feel like we have something to provide there in the sense of community and belonging. Now that doesn't mean we tolerate everything, but we still welcome youth. We have, if we have to have a strong conversation, we will, but our ultimate desire is that youth stay with us and that we continue to keep them part of our community.
And what is the impact that Sanctuary has on the youth and in the downtown Victoria community?
That's a really good question, and it's hard to determine. You know, downstream results and downstream impacts could include things like fewer police calls, fewer 911 phone calls, less cost in the community as far as services, overall services are required. That's some of the downstream results. But I'd like to say that kids go away healthier and are more able to navigate some of the challenges they have in terms of finding housing, finding employment, and navigating through their lives, and hopefully seeing a turn, an exit to street life, being able to contribute more to society and eventually give back. Yeah.
And my final question here, why do staff and volunteers believe in Sanctuary?
I think there's a variety of reasons why they believe. I think they believe in the work that we're doing, and it's very hands-on. Like, there are places for everyone to get involved. You can be involved in the food delivery side of things, or playing games with youth, or building something, or taking youth to an event. There's places for everyone to get involved, and everyone has something to contribute. Our work at Sanctuary is to find ways that staff and volunteers can contribute. We try to get to know our staff and volunteers, find out what their strengths are, and try to allow those people to use those strengths and not try to put a round peg in a square hole. And I think that's also something that our staff and volunteers appreciate, that they're being allowed to do what they do best in this setting. And we work hard at seeing what they can do in order for that to happen. Yeah.
We'll start with a simple one, if you're comfortable. What's your name?
My name's Isaiah Ortwine.
And what is Sanctuary Youth Center?
Sanctuary Youth Center is a place where I think a lot of teens can come in, or young adults, and they can have just meaningful connections with other people. We got activities out there that they can come in and just kind of grab onto and then hang out with their peers as well. And it's an awesome spot to have because they are allowed to come in and just, I don't know, hang out with everybody and enjoy the space.
And why does it exist?
It exists because people need community. Without community, they don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. And it's meant to be a place that when they're feeling alone or feeling frustrated, they can have a place to reach out to, and they can have a place that they're able to actually come in and just be authentic, right? And I think there's a lot of spots that it's hard to find that, and especially when you are struggling or going through something, it's so important to have space to be able to play a game of pool with somebody random that you've never before. I think that's why it exists.
And with that in mind, why do you think Sanctuary Youth Center is important?
It's so important because, again, there's a lot going on in the world. There always will be There's always going to be something on the news. There's always going to be some heartbreak in life. It's natural. However, there's not always going to be a space that you're allowed to come in and just enjoy a meal with everybody. It's vitally important for people to know that there's a community out there, or that there's connections with other people that they're able to grab onto. That's what makes this place special. That's what makes this place growing continuously, and being able to have that spot is super vital. I mean, I'm sure some of the youth down the road, they're able to look back on the friendships they've made here, on the memories they've have, and when they're down, they're able to think back to it and just remember some cool moments from there. And it's wanting to give those memories to them because, again, life's difficult, and especially for these youth here, like it's difficult out there. So for them, I hope it means so much more later down the road, just what they're able to think about and how they're able to process life, and just thinking about the amazing spot they have here and how they're welcomed here and how there's a home here, right?
What is the impact that Sanctuary has on the youth and the downtown Victoria community?
The impact is ever growing. It is continuously changing and morphing. From when I started here to now, there's been youth that have come and gone, new people that have come in. But one thing that remains the same is the people who stick around and build community here are the ones that just end up having the most reward from coming in here. And it's impactful for downtown Victoria in general, because there's so much more need for community, and there's so much more need for a space and for an enjoyment of I don't know, shared opportunity to grow and whatnot. It isn't just an important place for the youth, it's an important place for volunteers as well. I mean, there's so many friendships I've been able to make here in general, and just being able to foster here. And downtown Victoria is beautiful, it's amazing, it's fantastic. So being able to have an amazing city coupled with an amazing community just makes it all worthwhile, and it's fantastic.
And the final question here. Why do staff and volunteers believe in Sanctuary?
Staff and volunteers believe in Sanctuary because we all have a common belief that I believe everyone is made to be treated equal, and we're all in this together. There's so much more room for growth here. There's so much room for outreach. There's always going to be somebody needing a space. There's always going to be someone needing a place to come in and just have a meal, or again, just to talk. And the belief in Sanctuary is that it will always be able to provide that no matter what. There's always going to be more people needing places to go, more people needing help. There's always going to be that. So why would you not believe in something like this? Why would you not want to have this be a home for people? Why would you not want to pour everything you're into something like this? Because this has such more of an impact than just for yourself, it's for everybody, right? And the volunteers here, the staff here, all of them want the same thing for everybody here, which is to feel at home and to have a sense of purpose and to have a sense of belonging. And it's vitally important to continue to foster that here, because the more and more we do, the more and more people, again, can have positive memories, can have welcoming arms, wanting them to succeed in life, no matter where they're at, what stage they're at in life. It's a non-judgmental zone, and there should be so much more poured into places like this, because this is where the ideas of helping the whole Victoria area come from. It comes from, again, people being able to have positive experiences, being able to make connections. It's so vitally important to have that in Victoria.
First question though. Usually I find it's the easiest, but can also be the toughest. But what's your name?
My name is Liam.
And what is Sanctuary Youth Center?
So Sanctuary Youth Center is restart. Sanctuary Youth Center is a community space, I think, for every.
It's okay.
Terrible.
Maybe the lights are too bright, man.
No, it's okay. I think I'm more like on edge because there's two cameras looking at me and then a big light.
If you can, just imagine this is not there.
I know.
You're just looking at me
I know.
or the camera. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ask the question again.
So, what is Sanctuary Youth Center?
I think to me, Sanctuary Youth Center is. What is going on today? Okay, Sanctuary is a place I think where everybody can just exist, and it's a really good community space. They serve meals, we do events, we go out on outings. It's a really good place, and I really love it here.
touched on it with the kind of the impact, but why do you think Sanctuary Youth Center exists?
I think out of necessity, you know what I mean? I think there's like a hole that a lot of people have, and just like in the world in general. And I think there's a big lack of community spaces and places for people to exist and find communion, especially when you're young, and especially when you're street entrenched and you're homeless. And I think it's a really good place that has low boundaries and is kind of available to anybody who's within the age range, obviously. But I think out of necessity, like, people need community, and people need, you know, a place where they feel comfortable and safe. And I think it's really great for that.
And why is Sanctuary Youth Center important then?
I guess that touches back on the need for community and just, and give me 1 second.
No, take your time, man, take your time.
I know. I don't know why it's important. No, I do know why it's important, but then I'm struggling to formulate a like clear thing. So I don't know. It's important to me because I love all the people here and they're great, and you know, it's such an amazing place. I think it's helped so many people, and it's, you know, it's like, without it, it's like, what do you do for, like, if you're like in a really bad position? I don't know what I'd be doing, even like, you know, tomorrow. Like, it's like, what am I gonna do from 4 p.m. till 8 p.m.? I'm just gonna be sitting around, or like continue searching for jobs. Like, you can only spend so much time on Indeed. You can only spend so much time moving, and sometimes it's a good place to like stop and have a breather and feel just at ease, I think.
So why do youth or yourself come to Sanctuary?
I think the reason why a lot of people come is just, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. I think we just all have gotten to know each other pretty well, and I don't know, it's a good place to go. I think I come because I feel like I want to see all of my people, you know what I mean? And like keep updated in their lives. Like, I don't know, it's just like the people here are my friends, you know, and I enjoy being around them. I enjoy the nice hot meal, and when we have, on Thursdays we do a family dinner and we all get together and we talk and eat, and it feels normal, and it feels like, it feels good to be around a bunch of people who all care. So I think that's why I come, and I think most people come for the same reasons, or maybe different reasons, but yeah.
What is the impact that Sanctuary Youth Center has on the youth and or the downtown Victoria community?
The impact. I think it just makes it, like, it makes my life more comfortable. It makes people more financially stable. You know, if you're on the street, or even you're just a kid and you're like broke, it's like you have access to now food. It makes people healthier. Like, cause we eat pretty good here, you know, and there's always like snacks. It makes you safer because you know you have like trusted people that you can look up to, who are there to help you through whatever you're going through in that time. And like Darren and Tracy are amazing for that. They're always present. And if there's a situation, it's like, you know you can talk to them. And I think just downtown Victoria in general, I think it helps a lot of people, and has helped a lot of people. It's, yeah, net positive.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, dude.
Oh, thank you.
What is your name?
My name is Nathaniel.
And what is Sanctuary Youth Center?
What is Sanctuary Youth Center? Sanctuary is, I guess, a place, but also a group of people. And it is a place and a group of people where just about anyone, well, I would say anyone, is welcome. And it's a place where, it's a place where I guess I don't know what they would say their goal is, but the focus is to like serve people, and especially youth, helping youth that are maybe more at risk, people who can use the support, and yeah, helping people sort of navigate life.
You kind of touched on it with the last answer, which is totally fair.
Mm-hmm.
But why do you think, or why does Sanctuary exist?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know the the story to it, but I think Sanctuary exists. I mean, it comes out of a desire to help other people, but it exists to, yeah, provide support in a place where I think it's lacking a lot of time, and for people who maybe, you know, got off on a wrong foot somewhere in life, or just haven't been as privileged, or didn't grow up in as well off a family, or whatever their situation is. I think the purpose is to, yeah, provide, you know, opportunity for those people and guidance, and just like, whether that's, you know, helping people with applying for a job or getting into school, or just giving them a meal and giving them a safe place to sleep. Yeah, serving those young people who can use those services, I guess.
And why is Sanctuary important?
Why is Sanctuary important? I think, like, kind of like I said before, but it's important because I think a lot of the time, young people and youth that are at risk, people who, yeah, didn't grow up in sort of the system in the way that they were able to benefit from the system, people who are just kind of, you know, just their, the situation they grew up in, I guess, or just whatever life has thrown at them. Those people, it's easy to overlook them, and it's easy to, I think from an individual perspective, it's easy to be very like self-centered and easy to focus on yourself and what you need. And so then those people who aren't doing as well, or who, you know, other people perceive aren't contributing or doing their part or whatever for, yeah, it's easy to overlook them. And I think Sanctuary fills sort of that gap of putting value on those people, and providing for them where they maybe wouldn't otherwise have opportunities.
So for this next question, why do the youth come to Sanctuary? You've kind of answered it, but I think you hear something more tailored towards this.
Why do they come to Sanctuary? I think it, like, from a lot of what I've seen, it's a place that is safe for youth. Like, I remember I've, you know, heard from a few different youth people who come here and they'll like take a nap on the couch kind of thing, and, you know, sometimes they'll wake up and be like, oh wow, I can't believe I like slept here, because, you know, they feel safe enough to sleep in this place. And I think that speaks to sort of the environment that it is. And yeah, and like there's lots of other things. There's obviously the community. There's definitely a core group of people that comes and yeah, have a sort of solid community that they're able to enjoy each other's company and lift each other up, kind of thing. Yeah, and I mean, there's lots of other things that Sanctuary provides, and like whether they just want a meal or just somewhere to not be out in the cold for the evening or whatever. So, but yeah, I think there's lots of reasons.
2 more questions. What is the impact that Sanctuary Youth Center has on the youth and or the downtown Victoria community?
Well, that's tough to say. I think that it, you know, in theory, I guess it helps people to get off the streets, and it provides, you know, if people are looking to sort of get away from living on the street, or getting away from addictions, or are looking to, you know, take further steps in life, I think that's where Sanctuary can come in, where these youth can come here and find those opportunities, or at least find help in looking for opportunities. And so, you know, I think if you start if you start with people when they're young, there's a lot more room for them to sort of grow into their future and to still develop into that, I guess. And so certainly I think it helps people to sort of get onto the right foot early on, and so that they don't go too far down sort of that path that can be really hard to turn back from, where, you know, in a life of drug addiction or living on the streets or that kind of thing. I think I think that, you know, it has potential long-term effects on sort of on Victoria and the greater area, yeah.
And the last question, why do staff and volunteers believe in Sanctuary Youth Center?
I think that, let me think.
Take good time, take good time. It can be yourself too. It can be like a personal.
Yeah. I think probably part of it, like, is that, you know, you see people coming in and you can see the direct sort of effects or the implications of what you're doing, where giving someone a meal is a very, like, tangible thing that you can do to help someone, and it's obvious that it's helping them because, you know, everyone needs food kind of thing. And so I think there's that, and you definitely start to develop a relationship with people, you get to know them better, which is a great part of it. And so you can see these people, the youth lives, sort of things in their lives changing and how they react to that, and just sharing in that with them. And you can come to the center and, like, share about your own life and give updates kind of thing. And so, yeah, there is that sort of community aspect. And then, yeah, like I said, sort of that being able to serve and do something that's tangible and see those, like, immediate sort of, like, this is helping someone, I think. And yeah, I think that is a good thing to, you know, strive for, is to do something at some point in your life, do something that you can help people through. So, yeah.
We'll start with the first question, same thing. If you're comfortable, you can give no name, first name, both names, whatever it is. But what is your name?
My name is Abigail.
Perfect. And, well, in this case, I'd use what, but what is Sanctuary Youth Center?
Sanctuary Youth Center is Sanctuary Youth Center. I don't have much more. It's a cool place. Good food.
And for yourself, why do you think it exists?
To help people in need and to just be a safe place.
And to piggyback off of that, why is Sanctuary important?
To me, or in general?
Could be personal, could be general. I'm okay with either answer.
I think Sanctuary is important because it's always just been a place that you can go, and whatever you need, there's somebody willing to help you.
You know, this one can be a personal, could be a general as well. Same for this question, but why do youth or yourself come to Sanctuary?
Bus tickets? No, I'm kidding. Friends are here, staff are always nice. Yeah.
And what is the impact that Sanctuary has on the youth and also, or the downtown Victoria community?
I'm going to say the impact that Sanctuary has in everyone who steps foot in this place is very large. There's not many places for youth to go and get the help we can get here, or just the community that we have here. So thank you, Sanctuary.